This video is recorded on location at Mood Comics and Games. Hello and welcome to Game 2 between Connor playing Maze's End and Phil playing Mono Black. Phil starts off with a swamp and Connor plays a Simic Gilgate. Phil plays a swamp and Connor plays a Gruul Gilgate. Phil plays his third swamp and then casts an Underworld Connections. Connor just plays a Boros Gilgate. Phil pays a life and draws a card. He then plays a swamp and casts his second Underworld Connections, which is met with a negate from Connor. Connor plays a Maze's End and Phil plays a Mutavault. He then casts a Lifebane Zombie, followed by a Ratchet Bomb. During his main phase, Connor activates Maze's End, getting himself an Azorius Gilgate. He then replays a Maze's End. At the end step, Phil puts a counter on Ratchet Bomb. Phil swings in for 3, he then follows up with the Grey Merchant for a devotion of 6. Connor plays a Golgari Gilgate and passes. Phil swings in with the team, which is met with a Druid's Deliverance. Post combat, he pays a life and draws a card, putting down a Temple of Malady. He keeps the Scry on top, he then tries to resolve an Underworld Connections, which is met with a negate. Connor casts an Urban Evolution and plays his second Maze's End. Phil puts a counter on Ratchet Bomb. Phil casts a Thoughtseize and Connor casts a Fog. Phil takes a Supreme Verdict. He then pays a life and draws a card. He plays his second Mutavault and then casts a Pack Rat. Connor casts an Urban Evolution and then plays a Rakdos Gilgate. At the end step, Phil puts a counter on Ratchet Bomb. Phil pays a life, draws a card, and then plays a Swamp. He then swings with a team, which is met with a Druid's Deliverance. Connor activates Maze's End, getting himself a Celestia Charm. He then replays the Maze's End and casts an Elixir of Immortality. During his main phase, Phil pays a life and draws a card. He then swings in with a team, which is met with a Defender Hearth. Connor activates Maze's End and gets himself an Orzhov Gilgate. He then replays the Maze's End and passes. At his main phase, Phil pays a life and draws a card. He plays his fourth Mutavault, he then casts 2 Pack Rats. He then Alpha Strikes with a team, which is met with a Riot Control. Phil shows a hand of swamps and scoops him up, giving Connor the win. Let us know in the comments what decks you want to see featured, and as always, remember to like and subscribe for more Friday Night Magics coming your way.